Well, good morning and welcome to lesson 127. There is no love but God's. It's actually, I have a feeling, looking in this camera here, the background looks very bright, but it's actually kind of dark. So it's about, I don't know what time it is, but 5:30 in the morning. The sun is just somewhere that direction. It's a funny thing. Perhaps you think that different kinds of love are possible. Perhaps you think there is a kind of love for this, a kind for that, a way of loving one, another way of loving still another. Love is one. It has no separate parts and no degrees, no kinds nor levels, no divergencies and no distinctions. It is like itself, unchanged throughout. It never alters with a person or a circumstance. It is the heart of God and also of his Son. Love's meaning is obscure to anyone who thinks that love can change. He does not see that changing love must be impossible, and thus he thinks that he can love at times and hate at other times. He also thinks that love can be bestowed on one and yet remain itself, although it is withheld from others. To believe these things of love is not to understand it. If it could make such distinctions, it would have to judge between the righteous and the sinner and perceive the Son of God in separate parts. Love cannot judge. As it is one itself, it looks on all as one. Its meaning lies in oneness, and it must elude the mind that thinks of it as partial or in part. There is no love but God's, and all of love is his. There is no principle which rules where love is not. Love is a law without an opposite. Its wholeness is the power holding everything as one, the link between the Father and the Son, which holds them both forever as the same. No course whose purpose is to teach you what you really are could fail to emphasize there is no difference in what you are and what love is. Love's meaning is your own and shared by God himself, for what you are is what he is. There is no love but his, and what he is everything there is. There is no limit placed upon himself, and so are you unlimited as well. No laws the world obeys can help you grasp love's meaning. What the world believes was made to hide love's meaning and to keep it dark and secret. There is not one principle the world upholds that but violates the truth of what love is and what you are as well. Listen to this. This is cool. Straight up. Ready? Seek not within the world out there to find yourself. Love is not found in darkness and in death, yet it is perfectly apparent to the eyes that see and ears that hear its voice. All right, so I'm pretty sure everybody knows that little spiritual thing that gets around saying, if you don't love yourself first, how can you learn to love anyone else? And that's true. That's the true thing. That's what this is about, self-love. Okay. Today we practice making free our mind of all the laws you think you must obey, of all the limits under which you live, and all the changes which you think are part of human destiny. That's cool. I'm going to read that again. Today we practice making free our mind of all the laws you think you must obey, of all the limits under which you live, and all the and all the changes which you think are part of human destiny. Incredible. If you're watching this from the future, we're in the year 2021 and there's a pandemic going on where people are being vaccinated and people are not being vaccinated, and there's a whole thing called the Great Reset that people are talking about, and it's happening, and is it happening, and isn't it happening? And there's a lot of conjecture at the moment. If you look out into the social media platforms that are available at our thing as to what's actually going on, many people are trying to bury their heads in the sand and try not to look at it. It's too painful, and others are fighting against it. And either way of those makes it real to you. Today we take the largest single step this course requests in your advance towards its established goal. If you achieve the faintest glimmering of what love means today, you have advanced in distance without measure and in time beyond the count of years to your release. Time beyond the count of years to your release. And I remember we did a healing session last Sunday here, and one of the attendees, our brother Dean, had a light episode, one of the most profound ones that he's had in our light session so far. And if you achieve the faintest glimmering of what love means today, you have advanced in distance without measure and in time beyond the count of years to your release. That's what happens. You have a flash of that light, and you can't explain, you can't possibly fathom how much benefit that is in reducing your timeline from the alpha to the omega, where we sit here doing our lessons in the middle and we collapse it in on itself through the relinquishment of our temporal associations in doing these lessons and applying the principles that these lessons offer us in the particulars of our own individual associations. Let us together then be glad to give some time to God today and understand there is no better use for time than this. For 15 minutes twice a day, escape from every law in which you now believe. Open your mind and rest. The world that's the world that seems to hold you prisoner can be escaped by anyone who does not hold it dear. Okay, the only reason that you don't escape it immediately is because you still value it. Take a good look at it. Open your eyes, take a good look at it, see what it represents. Everything here dies. Pain, suffering, and death. That's it. Doesn't matter how pretty the background looks. Doesn't matter what. It's all just lipstick on a skeleton. Withdraw all value you have placed upon its meager offerings and senseless gifts, and let the gift of God replace them all. Call to your Father, certain that his voice will answer. He himself has promised this, and he himself will place a spark of truth within your mind wherever you give up a false belief, a dark illusion of your reality and what love means. He will shine through your idle thoughts today and help you understand the truth of love in loving gentleness. He will abide with you as you allow his voice to teach love's meaning to your clean and open mind, and he will bless the lesson with his love. And it's funny, I'll just stop there for a second, but it's funny when I have these memories of being a younger version of this avatar before my awakening, when I thought the world was real and everything had to mean something. And I remember going through the process of relationships. I had a couple of longer term ones and lots of little short term ones here and there that attempting to work out my happiness. And as soon as one failed, somebody would cheat on me, or somebody would do something else, or someone would stir up intense emotion. I can't handle this, I'm out of here, whatever it is. Love would seem to fail in all of those particular things. Someone did something, so I'm a victim. Rather than someone's offering me a lesson in what true love is here, and I should be grateful to them for that, no matter how it appears on this side of the lesson, the pain and the heartache and all of that sort of stuff. Right? All these laws and all these ideas and all these thoughts that I had about love and what it should look like until death do us part and all of that sort of stuff. It's like I had to let it all go, the whole lot, let it go so I could actually learn. Right? Now, I don't know if anyone else is like that, but I see a lot of things on social media from time to time, predominantly young people who are still working out their particular path in life, um, who bemoan their lot at the loss of someone who cheated on them or did something that they shouldn't have done if they really truly love me. And it's funny. It's just funny having been through that. It's like you can look back on it now like a repeat. It's like Gilligan's Island. Anyone who's young probably won't remember that, but anyone my age or older will know what Gilligan's Island is. It's the same ridiculous scenario every episode where they almost get off but don't get off. They almost find freedom but don't find freedom for usually for Gilligan's fault. They all get to blame Gilligan. It's funny. Today, the legion of future years of waiting for salvation disappears before the timelessness of what you learn. Let us give thanks today that we are spared a future like the past. All right, ready? We're going to let go of our past thoughts about things because sure as hell we don't want a future anything like it. Okay? Let us give thanks today that we are spared a future like the past. Today we leave the past behind us, never more to be remembered, and we raise our eyes upon a different present where a future shines unlike the past in every attribute. And the idea of forgetting the past, never more to be remembered, it's like that's a true thing. There's like massive sections of what I would have once called the past of my experience, the past of my life, as far as this thing goes, that I simply don't remember. But there are bits that pop out every now and again that are helpful for learning, helpful for teaching, helpful for whatever. And I've noticed, as with other memories and things like that, that they all have a use by date. They all just fade away. And as I begin, or as I continue to forgive myself for what I think all these things mean to me, they just kind of vanish off. And it's like dominoes. One which has a similar emotional signature will topple over all the others that have a similar emotional signature in that regard. And let's say, like memories about money or memories about religion or memories about whatever. And it's like you heal one because they all tend to be connected. You heal one and then they all just sort of topple down. Okay. The world in infancy is newly born, and we will watch it grow in strength and health to shed its blessing upon all who come to learn to cast aside the world they thought was made in hate to be love's enemy. Now are they all made free along with us. Now are they all our brothers in God's love. Amen. We will remember them throughout the day because we cannot leave a part of us outside our love if we would know ourselves. At least 3 times an hour, think of one who makes the journey with you and who came to learn what you must learn. As he comes to mind, give him this message from yourself. I bless you, brother, with the love of God, which I would share with you, for I would learn the joyous lesson that there is no love but God's and yours and mine and everyone's. Mosquitoes. It's incredible. That's a very powerful lesson. There is no love but God's. And one of the things, I'll just read it here. We will remember that throughout the day. We will remember them throughout the day because we cannot leave a part of us outside our love if we would know ourselves, which is why forgiveness has to be unconditional, has to be across the board. Why would you want there to be anyone that you even needed to forgive? Can you hear me? It's like if everyone is my teacher. I've asked everyone to come into my dream, into my association, to play the part for me that I've asked them to play. And they're going to play it perfectly, right down to cross the T's and dot the I's because they love me unconditionally. Right? Their script is programmed into their mind according to my wishes. I project my ego onto them and give them an ego. Why would I not now, having realized salvation for myself, release them from that through an action of forgiving myself for that entirety of that old script in my mind and simply letting it go and being willing to sit quietly in a place where for a moment I can be revealed the truth of the nature of love so that I can see it and share it with everyone and everything that I previously denied it in my tyrannical quest for autonomy. All right, well, that's it. Blessings. It's in the stillness of the mind. Be still and know that I am God. That's what it says in the Bible. In the New Testament, Jesus says, be still and know that I am God. It's like this is a mind training course in learning how to be still. You may think, well, I don't need to learn how to be still, but if you try to stop those thoughts in there, that chitter chatter, literally that's going to take a miracle. It's going to take prayer, meditation, complete effort, and also a complete recognition and withdrawal from the meaninglessness of the world that I've tried to give a meaning to. It doesn't mean that you still don't go to work and pay your bills and whatever, but those things come under the annex of your salvation now. If it's helpful, it'll remain. If it's not, it'll fall away. And you'll recognize that there's a use-by date with certain things, like once you learn a lesson, often that the person or people involved in the manufacturing of that lesson will tend to fall away or take on a new role in a new lesson being presented if you're married or something like that. Perhaps it's very individual. So just remember, this is a path that we are walking together. And it's a path of love. We discover what that love looks like in each other.